Canadians will have a clear choice to make this October between a new Conservative government, one that will live within its means to put more money in your pocket so that you can get ahead, or a re-elected Liberal government under Justin Trudeau, who has spent the last 4 years making life more expensive while rewarding his friends and punishing his critics. Now, Trudeau can't run on his record. He can't possibly defend all of his broken promises, massive deficits, tax increases, and ethical and corruption scandals. That's why he's dredging up divisive social issues, trying to distract Canadians from his litany of failures. As of today, Trudeau will not attend two important leaders' debates: the Maclean's Magazine CTV debate and the Monk debate on Canada's foreign policy. These debates shape how Canadians make their decision at the ballot box. And Trudeau is trying to basically shut them down because he's afraid to defend his record. By refusing to attend these debates, Trudeau wants to force their cancellation and rob Canadians of an opportunity to see him held to account. This is wrong, and this is a lack of leadership. So I urge Justin Trudeau to show some courage, show up, to defend his record and his decisions over the last 4 years. Les Canadiens et les Canadiennes vont faire un choix clair en octobre entre un nouveau gouvernement conservateur qui va vivre selon les moyens et mettre plus d'argent dans votre poche pour améliorer votre quotidien, et un gouvernement libéral réélu sous Justin Trudeau qui a passé ces 4 dernières années à rendre votre vie plus chère tout en aidant ses amis et en punissant ses critiques. Trudeau ne peut pas défendre ses bilans. Il ne peut pas défendre toutes ses fausses promesses, ses déficits massifs, ses hausses d'impôts et ses scandales d'éthique. C'est pour ça qu'il ramène des enjeux sociaux conflictuels pour tenter de détourner l'attention de ses échecs sans fin. Et c'est pour ça qu'il refuse de participer au débat de cet automne. Trudeau ne veut pas participer à 2 débats importants: le débat du magazine Maclean's et de CTV et le débat Monk sur la politique étrangère du Canada. Ces débats vont déterminer comment les Canadiens et les Canadiennes vont prendre une décision cet automne. Et Trudeau veut les empêcher parce qu'il a peur de défendre son bilan. En refusant de participer à ces débats, Trudeau veut les annuler et empêcher les Canadiens et les Canadiennes de le voir rendre des comptes. Ce n'est pas correct et c'est un manque de leadership. Alors je presse Justin Trudeau de faire preuve de courage et de participer au débat pour défendre son bilan et ses décisions de ces 4 dernières années. Merci beaucoup. Je suis prêt pour vos questions.
Hi, Mr. Scheer. Thanks for taking our questions. We were hoping to seek some clarity from you today. You've said in the past that your MPs would be able to introduce bills on matters of conscience, and you said you're 100% behind that. So can you clarify today whether backbench MPs will be able to introduce motions or bills on issues touching on abortion or same-sex marriage, and if you would allow a free vote for both your caucus and cabinet on such matters?
Well, I've always been very clear, and nothing has changed for our party on this issue. This is the same, we operate under the same policies as the previous Conservative government under Stephen Harper, which is that individual MPs have the right to express themselves on matters of conscience, but that a Conservative government will not reopen these divisive social issues. And so that is our position. That has always been our position. Canadians can have confidence these issues will not be reopened under a future Conservative government. And it's really just the Liberals who are pushing this, trying to distract from their record of failure, corruption, and scandal, trying to dredge up issues from long ago that are in an attempt to divide Canadians and distract from their own scandals. So our position on these issues has always been very clear. Our party constitution grants, recognizes the rights of individual MPs, but it also recognizes that a Conservative government will not reopen these types of issues and I will ensure that happens.
Pouvez-vous répéter en français?
Oui. Alors, rien n'a changé. Rien n'a changé. Sorry, just gonna. Rien n'a changé pour notre parti. C'est la même chose aujourd'hui qu'il était sous l'ancien gouvernement conservateur. Les députés ont le droit de s'exprimer sur les questions pour leur conscience ou pour les électeurs, mais un gouvernement conservateur va toujours assurer que ces débats ne se pas réouvrir. Les Canadiens peuvent avoir confiance que les débats sur ces questions comme l'avortement ne va pas être réouvert sous un futur gouvernement conservateur.
Thank you for taking these questions. Can you go past a little bit the talking points and talk about your own faith? Your critics and rivals have emphasized that you've grown up in a deeply faithful household. You maintain a deeply faithful household. Can you talk about that and reconcile how your personal faith fits with the abortion question?
Well, I think it's very clear that as Prime Minister of Canada, I will govern for all Canadians. And while every individual
on abortion, will they face punishment from you?
You know, I know the Liberals are trying to create hypothetical situations. I have worked with my caucus over the last 2 years. I know that we're all focused on the things that unite us. Our caucus understands that there is a diversity of opinion on this among Canadians, and we are the only party that recognizes that. We're the
Your personal beliefs, do you still believe that the ability for partners to procreate is essential to marriage, as you once told the House of Commons?
So my personal views are that all Canadians have inherent dignity. All human beings have inherent dignity and worth, and I will always support equality rights for all Canadians, including LGBT Canadians. This issue was settled long ago. It was an open question, and members of all parties had different positions on it. Today, it is the law of the land, and I will always uphold that law.
Sir Simon Dingley from CBC National News. You say your views on same-sex marriage as defined by law have changed. How have they personally changed your own views on this issue?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, my personal views are that LGBT Canadians have the same inherent self-worth and dignity as every other Canadian. And I will always uphold the law and always ensure that they have equal access to the institution of marriage as it exists under the law. This is an issue that was settled 15 years ago, and it is completely hypocritical for the Liberals to try to bring this up now, to divide Canadians, to use this issue for political partisan purposes, especially when it was put out by a member of Parliament who himself had voted against same-sex marriage. So clearly, Canadians have moved on from this issue. It was a matter of debate 15 years ago. It has been settled. I will recognize that it has been settled, and my personal views are that every single human being has the same inherent self-worth and dignity, and I'll always stand up for the equality rights of LGBT Canadians.
Did you ever march with them in a parade?
There are many ways to support the community. I myself have put forward a motion in the House of Commons calling on the government to do more to ensure that gays and lesbians who face persecution around the world are able to come to Canada to be free from that type of persecution. I will continue to advocate for that as Prime Minister. I also represented our party in the historic apology to civil servants who were persecuted because of their sexual orientation. I was very proud to be able to do that on behalf of my party. So I will continue to support the community. And as Prime Minister, Canadians can have confidence that every Canadian, regardless of their faith, their race, their ethnic background, their sexual orientation, or their identity, has the same equality rights.
Juste pour clarifier la situation en français, si un projet de loi est déposé contre l'avortement, personnellement, est-ce que vous allez voter pour ou contre?
Je vais opposer les mesures qui essaient de réouvrir ces débats, mais c'est une question hypothétique parce que j'ai travaillé avec mon caucus depuis les derniers 2 ans et j'ai confiance que tous nos membres savent qu'on doit travailler sur les enjeux qui créent l'unité dans notre mouvement, notre caucus. Et c'est clair qu'il y a une diversité d'opinions sur cet enjeu pour les Canadiens et les Canadiennes. C'est la même chose dans notre parti. C'est normal d'avoir les gens qui ont une différente perspective. Et nous sommes le seul parti qui reconnaît le droit de liberté d'opinion, d'expression et les droits des individuels députés de s'exprimer leur propre position. Mais les Canadiens peuvent avoir confiance que cette question ne va jamais être réouverte sous un gouvernement conservateur.
Just to clarify, so some Quebec Conservative candidates chose to run because they were assured that there would be no bills, no motions, no discussion of the abortion issue whatsoever in a Conservative government. So what do you say to those candidates now that some of them are concerned that that may not be the case?
Well, I don't believe, I don't accept the premise of the question. Nothing has changed for our party. Our party position on this has always been the same. And members of Parliament who are running for re-election and new candidates know that we are the only party that respects the difference of opinion on this and many other issues. We believe that we are a big tent party and we welcome people who have different perspectives on any number of issues. But when we come together, we work as a team. And that is the certainty that Canadians can have confidence in, that a Conservative government will not reopen this issue, and that I, as Prime Minister, will oppose measures that reopen this issue. And that is something that Canadians can be sure of. And it's really just the Liberals who are trying to bring up these types of divisive social issues to distract from their own hidden, their own record of scandal, their hidden agenda for higher taxes and for future scandals. This is the same playbook that they've run since 2004 when I first ran for Parliament. Every election cycle, as we get closer to the election, they try to spread fear amongst Canadians on these types of social issues. It has never been a case where a Conservative government has allowed this type of issue to be reopened, and that will continue to be the case under my leadership as Prime Minister.
Mr. Scheer, regarding the 2005 video of your position opposing same-sex marriage at the time, do you look back on what you said then and have any regrets? I mean, you use an analogy of a dog's tail in your speech opposing same-sex marriage. How do you view your own remarks in that video, and how have you changed, if you've changed?
Mm-hmm. Well, as you'll remember, this was a debate that was held in 2005. It was a major change to an institution in our country, and many people expressed their views in a number of on each side of this issue. I note that many Liberal MPs, current sitting Liberal MPs, voted against same-sex marriage. The issue is settled. My personal views are that every single Canadian has the same equality rights under the law, and I will continue to uphold that. And I think it's it's so hypocritical for the Liberals to reach back 15 years ago to try to divide Canadians on an issue that is settled, that Canadians know is not going to be revisited in a desperate attempt to distract from their failures and their scandals. So I will always, as Prime Minister, stand up for equal access under law for all Canadians, including LGBT Canadians, defend their rights both here and abroad.
You say the issue settled, though, but you've also said that your own MPs would be able to
I think
motions touching on it if that's a matter of conscience.
Sorry, that was more on the other issue that you brought up. Our party supports the equality rights of all Canadians, including LGBT Canadians, and there's no question that there will not be attempts to revisit that issue. I can be very clear on that.
Sir, speaking of being clear, can you be clear when your opinion changed on this issue and why?
This issue was settled in 2005. The Parliament had a vote. Canadians had their say in 2 elections, and society has moved on past from that. And I accept that. And as Prime Minister, I will always uphold the law as it stands, which grants that right to LGBT Canadians.
Have you moved on personally for these issues?
As I said, it's a question of, as Prime Minister, I will ensure the equality of rights of all LGBT Canadians, and I have always believed that there is inherent dignity and inherent self-worth in every single human being. This is an issue that was decided by Parliament 15 years ago. 14 years ago. I accept that, and I think most Canadians were surprised that the Liberals were attempting to dredge this type of thing up. I mean, it's no coincidence that every time we get close to an election cycle, the Liberals search for these types of things to try to divide Canadians. That speech was given in the House of Commons in front of the television cameras for Hansard. It was arguments that were being made by similar types of arguments that many people were making. Other arguments were made on other sides of the issue. A vote was held. It was settled. Canadians have moved on. I've moved on. We're focused on ensuring that the equality of rights of all Canadians will always be upheld.
Le gouvernement Ford a décidé de s'adresser à la Cour suprême concernant la taxe sur le carbone. La semaine dernière, on disait on va laisser le choix aux électeurs lors du scrutin de faire la décision s'ils veulent ou non de cette taxe. Là, on revient un peu sur la décision, on s'adresse plutôt aux tribunaux. Est-ce que vous pensez que le gouvernement Ford, c'est un peu un désaveu de sa part et il ne vous fait pas nécessairement confiance pour gagner l'élection?
Non, pas du tout. J'ai été clair avec tous les Canadiens que le gouvernement conservateur va annuler la taxe sur le carbone. C'est simple. Alors, ça ne sera pas une question après le 21 octobre. On ne va pas avoir besoin d'une poursuite à la Cour. Alors, c'est clair que les provinces qui n'acceptent pas la taxe sur le carbone parce qu'ils savent que ça ne va pas réduire les émissions et seulement ajouter les coûts pour les Canadiens, n'ont pas besoin de faire les poursuites. Alors, je prends cette nouvelle comme un signe de confiance qu'on va gagner parce qu'il n'aura pas besoin de dépenser l'argent sur les avocats pour une poursuite qui ne va pas arriver parce qu'on va gagner, on va annuler la taxe sur le carbone.
Pourquoi, justement, si on n'a pas besoin de cette poursuite-là, d'aller à la Cour suprême, le gouvernement Ford décide de le faire quand même?
Je vais diriger vos questions à le gouvernement provincial. Pour moi, c'est clair. On va avoir une plateforme qui va résonner avec tous les Canadiens. Et une des mesures qui va réduire les coûts de la vie pour les Canadiens, c'est notre plan d'annuler la taxe sur le carbone. Et quand on va annuler la taxe sur le carbone, les Canadiens vont voir leur coût de vie sera réduit. J'ai hâte à envoyer ce message à tous les Canadiens. Et le premier projet de loi qu'on va proposer dans la Chambre des communes sera nommé l'acte pour annuler la taxe sur le carbone. Ça, c'est job one pour un gouvernement conservateur. Et je sais que les électeurs dans toutes les provinces où il y a une taxe sur le carbone sont contents avec cette position parce qu'ils n'aiment pas payer les taxes élevées. Sure. It's always been my position that we will cancel the carbon tax. So there won't be a need for provinces to prepare lawsuits to the Supreme Court because we're going to scrap it. And so the voters in provinces where the carbon tax is being imposed can have confidence that job one for a Conservative government, the first piece of legislation that we will propose will be called an act to cancel the carbon tax. So we know that the carbon tax is making the cost of living higher, and it's not doing anything to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We also know that the Liberals have a hidden agenda on this tax. Catherine McKenna, just the other day, alluded to the fact that she was going to raise it after the next election, then tried to walk it back, and then gave the excuse as to why she wasn't answering questions was because she was worried about winning her own seat. So that tells you all you need to know about the Liberals' plan for the carbon tax. It will go up. It will make life more expensive. It will do nothing to reduce emissions. And that is why we're fighting so hard against it. And that is why our first act will be called an act to repeal the carbon tax.
Sir, do you know if your speech in 2005 in the comments was offensive in any way?
As I said, the speech that I gave in 2005 was done in Parliament in front of the television cameras on Hansard. I mean, for the Liberals to try to put out that they unearthed it somehow, it just speaks to their level of desperation and hypocrisy. These are arguments that were being put forward by many people who held views on this issue as Canada was about to change a very fundamental, a very important institution in our country. That issue is settled. We accept that. We accept the fact that LGBT Canadians have access to marriage laws in Canada. We will always uphold that. This is an issue that was settled long ago. It is only Liberals who are trying to bring it up again to divide Canadians and to distract from their own record of scandal and corruption. Thank you very much.
Would you not say that speech is offensive now, 14 years later?
Like, as I said, these were conversations that were being held at the time. These are conversations and arguments that were being put forward by others in mainstream publications at the time. Obviously, today, these are not the types of things that we would bring up again. These are not issues we would revisit in any way. This issue has been settled. Back in 2005, Canadians had their say. Parliament has passed the law. I will always uphold that law and ensure that LGBT Canadians have the same access under it. Thank you.
Oh no, it's all unconnected. Okay. Happy birthday, Rob.
Thank you.